Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, that's not gonna work because this isn't a legitimate channel, or is it? I don't know. Oh god, I'm so cringy. I hate this. This is the part that I hate, is like being so cringy. Like, oh my god. All right, I'm sorry. Anyways, so for today's video, I'm gonna discuss the backstory and the process of when I first got diagnosed, and like all the difficulties that we had to go through to get diagnosed, and just everything. Just pretty much shed some light as to why this is so important to me, as to why I'm doing this channel, as to why everything that happens from now on, like all of the other videos I post of all the different treatments and all the different things that I have to go through, is so like crucial to me, because I've been through all of this. I have had to go through all of these different things, and then now we're still dealing with this. I don't know. I'm just trying to put some light onto this whole situation, I guess. Okay, so to begin, I was this whole ordeal started back in February of 2016. I was 16 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. I started with a regular sinus infection, to be honest with you. Like, it was legitimately like a normal thing for me. I used to get sinus infections all the time. And like, I went to the doctor, they gave me some medicine, like sent me home, whatever. And after the sinus infection, it ended up lasting like a 3 weeks straight, because of like, it got really, really bad, but I was fine for the most part. Like, it was manageable. And then after this sinus infection symptoms go away, I continue with this like crown like style headache. Like, what I mean by crown is like, it was just like, like a headband worth of a headache type thing. Like, it's just excruciating every single day, and it didn't go away. Like, it didn't go away, and I'm not like exaggerating this, and meaning like I would take some Tylenol and it would go away for a couple hours and then come back. No, like, it was consistent. Like, anything I took, it was just consistent. It would not like move. Like, it was really, really bad. It started after like a couple of weeks. My mom realizes, like, you know what, this isn't normal. Like, there's something going on. So she sends me up a doctor she sends me up an appointment with my primary care doctor at the time. He was my pediatrician since I was 16. His name is Dr. Canales. He is an amazing pediatrician here in El Paso, Texas. He's an angel, sincerely. Like, that man, he's going 24/7. Like, he does not stop, and he is very like on the ball with trying to get an answer for things. Like, I don't know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have figured out ultimately what was wrong with me, because he did put in a lot of effort to try to figure out what was going on with me. So when I first go in, he figures it's just migraines, because a lot of people get chronic migraines. My mom has them. Like, it's a genetic thing. Like, you have a regular migraine, you take some medication, it might go on a couple more weeks, or like, a couple more weeks, a couple more days. Like, sometimes they're really consistent like that. So he was like, it's normal, it's okay, like, let's put you on some migraine medication. And at the time, back in 2016, there wasn't designated headache medication. So you would get medication that was primarily for something else, like blood pressure, like heart medicine, the type things that just after some time they realized it worked less for what they was originally meant for, and it works more for like migraines after lots of testing and things like that. So I'm being put on all of these different medications, and because they're not primarily meant for headaches, they're meant for other things originally. They have side effects, and they sometimes mess with other things that's going on in your body. So every single time I was put on these new medications, I would end up ultimately feeling worse, because they weren't working for my migraines, and they were also like aggravating other symptoms that was happening. And at the time, not only am I getting these headaches, but I'm also getting the numbness of my arms. Like, my cheeks would just get really, really red, and like, I would get super, like, these really, really bad hot flashes. Like, that's how I explain them. A really uncomfortable feeling. It feels like I'm burning alive ultimately. A list of other symptoms I was having, but those are the most prominent ones. So this was going on. Every medication wasn't working. He finally gives me a referral to a neurologist, and at the time there was only two pediatric neurologists, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they I had the best time, can you tell? um Unfortunately, a lot of specialties here in El Paso are very limited, and since they're so limited, you kind of have like a monopoly effect with them. Like, by that I mean like one neurologist, like, even like, since there was only two that there was here, like I had appointments with both of them because my mom of course wanted like second opinion type things. So I had appointments with both of them, and at first it was just like, I'm not gonna test you, like you're fine, whatever, send you home, like pretty much you're SOL. Then the next one, like, yeah, no, you're fine, send you home, I'm not touching you, SOL. Then like the second referral comes in for my primary care, and he's like, no, like there's something wrong, like you need to listen, like something's happening. And then they would just put me on a whole bunch of other medication, and then they would call it a day. And then at some point in time they figured out that I was seeing both of them, and they have this huge rivalry, I guess, and they decided that they didn't want to see me anymore. Well, one of them decided they wanted to see me anymore. Like, it just turned into this big old thing. Like, it's stupid. Like, you're a neurologist. Like, you're supposed to help your patients. Like, you're there for, like, obviously you're there for some type of answers, you know? And at one point, one of them even, because at the time, I was in and out of the hospital. Like, this is how bad it got. Like, I was in so much pain every day. And during the time that I was still in school, I mean, that end of that sophomore year, I was missing like so many days and being sent to the nurse's office so much throughout the week. And like, it came to the point where like my nurses would even, like the nurses at the school, like they knew me personally and they knew everything that was going on with me. They knew that the minute that I walked in there, they needed to call my mom because I wasn't feeling good. Like, that's how serious it was. Like, they 100% understood, like this was what really was going on. Like, I wasn't faking it. Like, my blood pressure would go up when I was in pain. Like, there were so many telltale signs that were showing that like I was in genuine pain, when I wasn't making any of this up. So these neurologists, like, I would be in and out of the hospital, so they would obviously have to come see me because they were the first people to get called when I would be in there, because I mean, obviously head problems, like they call neurology. So they would see me and they would be like, oh, here's some new medication and blah blah blah, and I would be in this hospital for like 2 weeks at a time and being loaded up with all of these different drugs, and nothing was doing anything until one point, the last time that I saw the neurologist here in El Paso, he tells me and my mom, just because at this point he's fed up with me, like sincerely, like he was fed up. And honestly, never mind. He tells me that he wanted to implant some electric like mechanism thing that was supposed to send like electric shocks to my brain. Yes. He wanted to implant these electro impulses into my head, like this machine that would send like it would like zap my brain, I guess. I don't know. He explained it, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just, the minute I heard electric impulse implant, I was like, nope, we're out, done, bye. And my mom felt the same way. And she pretty much told him that he was never allowed to see me again, and she kind of kicked him out of the room. Anyways, so there was that situation with that. Like, that's how my experience, I mean, granted, some other people could have amazing experiences, but that was just my experience, and I just personally cannot vouch for it at all. Like, if you have any type of, honestly, to this point, like, at this point, like, with everything that I've gone through, if you have any type of, like, special, like, not special, no, like, any type of serious or, like, chronic problem, like, illness, disease, anything like that, like, get out of El Paso. If you live here, please get out of here. Go to some bigger city with more options and specialties, because here it's very limited, unfortunately. because even the ones that are good, they stay here for like a couple months, and then they end up moving to a bigger city anyways. So it's, I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So okay, during this time, again, in and out of the hospitals, still in pain, still nothing's fixed, still no answers whatsoever. We are trying everything, absolutely everything you can think of. Like, my mom is sending me to, well, not my mom, but like she's getting referrals to be sent to cardiologists, endocrinologists, because I have something wrong with my thyroid too, ear, nose, and throat specialist because I have a stupid deviated septum, like the doctors that deal with the intestines and like the stomach, I don't know what they're called, internalists? Honestly, I don't know. Anyways, every single doctor you can possibly think of to try to come up with an answer as to what's going on, like everything. And nothing, no answers, like, I mean, besides the two other things that we end up finding out about my thyroid and my nose. Other than that, like, no other possible reason as to why I can be having these chronic migraines every single day. So there comes a time where my mom starts, like, obviously, I mean, it's the point of desperation because, like, we really didn't have answers. We start doing, like, holistic medicine. What is it called when they, like, cuando te limpian con un huevo, when they clean you with an egg? I don't know what it's called. Oh my gosh, what is it called? I don't know. Anyways, but it's a Mexican thing. Like, you clean yourself with an egg. You have your, like, your grandmas clean you with an egg and pray and stuff. You're supposed to clear all the bad vibes and you're supposed to feel better. We did that like daily. Any type of like thing that you can possibly think of, we did. Like, I drink birdseed water, boiled birdseed water. That's how like desperate it got. Yeah, so it was really like, it was really bad, and I'm making light of it right now, and I'm laughing about it because honestly, looking back, I mean, at the time it was horrible, and it was dramatic for me. Like, it was like this point of like complete turnaround of my life, because again, I went from this 16-year-old cheerleader, like active peppy person, like was really out there with life and with my friends and with my everything, with my family. Like, I was always this really energetic person. I went from being that to being this like embodiment of Eeyore. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. My whole life was turned upside down completely, and it wasn't so much of a joke then. And I can say that now at a point. I mean, I'm still dealing with it, and if anything, right now I feel like I'm back in that place, but because of everything that's been going on lately. But I mean, I can look at that moment and truly recognize, like, now how crazy it was, and like the funny parts of it, and like you have to focus on the good, so that's kind of how I see it. Even now, like right now, as bad as it is right now, like I have to focus on being okay and seeing the light in every situation and seeing the funny parts of life, because it's funny. Anyway, so continue on with my story. We're trying every single thing. At some point in time, someone tells my mom to maybe go see a chiropractor. Again, we're desperate, so we go see a chiropractor, and the chiropractor at the time that I went to go see, he was one of my mom's really good friends. He starts to do like whatever the chiropractors do, like the neck, back, bone, spine thingy, and like the testing and all that stuff. I don't know what it's called. And he's noticing like that I'm not flexible, like, at all. Like, I've never been flexible, but he's like, you know what, this isn't normal. Like, you were a cheerleader, like you should be able to move like your arms and your legs more, because like, I mean, you were stretching every single day, like you should be more flexible. And I was like, no, like that's totally normal. Like, I'm not. That's just what it is. He was like, well, I don't think it's normal. I need you to get an MRI of your spine. I want to check your spine. I want to make sure that everything's okay. And so that's what we do. We go to the MRI, which, by the way, at the time I had never had I had had CTs and X-rays. The neurologist never ordered an MRI of my brain, considering everything that had happened. So he orders an MRI of my spine, and I freak out. I completely have a meltdown, because if any of you guys have been in an MRI, it is this little tiny circle capsule thing. I mean, I'm sure lots of you guys have seen one in like Grey's Anatomy or like House, or it's this little tiny tube that they put you in. You're supposed to sit in there, or no, lay in there for like an hour. Depending on what type of scan they have to do. But I mean, at the time it was like an hour scan. So I had a complete panic attack because I had really bad anxiety. So I had a complete panic attack inside that thing. So they had to take me out. I had to redo it another day with some sedative because I was freaking out completely. It was so bad. So anyways, we get that over with. And we get the scans back, and he notices that I have what's called a tethered cord. And at the time, I don't think that he diagnosed it, because I don't think that's what he does. Like, well, obviously that's not what he does, but he noticed that there was something wrong with my spine, which ended up being the tethered cord. And again, I'm not very positive he's the one that exactly diagnosed it, or if I ended up finding out the exact term for it later. But he points out that there is something wrong. And then he also noticed something wrong at the upper part of my spine where my brain is, where the Chiari. Anyways. So he notices that obviously that there's some type of answer there. Like, there's something there that they hadn't seen before, like, that needs to be looked at. So because of this, my mom was like, great, we have an answer. We need to see a specialist. So my mom starts to send out because in order to be seen by any type of like neurosurgeon, like you need like you need to be accepted. Does that make sense? Like, you need to, like, for them to see your information, be like, oh, okay, I'll take the patient. Does that make sense? You have a referral. You need a referral. You need a referral from the doctor, and then the neurosurgeon has to approve that they'll see you. Anyways, so we start my primary care. He starts sending out referrals, and my mom starts sending out my packets to a whole bunch of different neurologists and neurosurgeons around the country. Actually, all of like the top neuro places, pediatric places in the US. The one that responds to us the fastest is actually where I ended up going to, which is the Phoenix Children's Hospital, the Barrow Neurological Institute that they have implemented inside their hospital. So the Barrow Neurological Institute responds back to my mom with an appointment with Dr. Bragg, who my mom sent the papers in for, because she was a Chiari specialist. And, well, not Chiari, but, yeah, Chiari specialist, but we didn't know that at the time. We did know that at the time. I'm a liar. I'm 100% a liar. I think that my primary care saw my MRI and said that he thought, my primary care saw my MRI and he thought that it was a Chiari malformation. I should have really thought, let me ask my mom. Hold on. Guys, the mother has confirmed that I am a liar. So Dr. Canales saw the MRI. We showed my primary care that my MRI that I had gotten from the chiropractor, and he saw that I had the Chiari malformation, and that's how he was able to send out the referrals to the neurosurgeons and the neurologists. And Dr. Bragg was a specialist, or is a specialist in the Chiari malformation, and did work out of the Phoenix Children's Hospital. So she sends us back an email confirming the appointment with us. Confirming that she'll see us, and we set up the appointment, whatever. This is August of 2016. So I'm starting my junior year of high school. And I started to go to school before the appointment, because the appointment was like a month away. And so I'm going to school during this month, and I am literally like completely unable to like function and live a normal life at this point. Like, I was in that much pain. And so going in and out of school, it would be this complete exhaustion to my body. Like, I was just in so much pain, and I can't stress that enough. I was missing school constantly. And it was barely the first month of my junior year, and it was really, really difficult for me. And I was in a really, really bad place. Like, I can genuinely say that right now. Like, I was in a really, really, really bad place. Because I didn't really have answers. I mean, I knew I had this malformation at this point, and something in the tethered cord, but like, I didn't understand, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and I still had no end to this pain. So moving on, I end up missing so much school that like my school was like, you know what, I have doctor's notes because I end up at the urgent care and at the hospital so many times during this month that like it proves that I'm sick. But I mean, still, like, as a school, you can't, I didn't have that many excused absences allowed. Does that make sense? So I was already in a lot of trouble with my attendance at school. But when I go up to Phoenix, and they tell me, my Dr. Bragg tells me, the neurosurgeon, she tells me, you know what, like, we're gonna have to have surgery because of the tethered cord that I had. She thought that this tethered cord, which is a tethered, like, it's tethered into my spine. So it's like like, I think it's like a nerve or a ligament. I don't know. So it's a cord. Can you tell how educated I am about my illness? So it's tethered and it's connected to your brain. So since it's tethered, she explained it like it's kind of like a balloon. It's caught in a tree. It's not able to float back up. So that she thinks that that's the reason why I have the Chiari or Chiari. I don't know how to pronounce it right. And that's the reason that that's happening. So if they're able to untether it, it's just going to be able to just go back up. That was her explanation. And so she explains to me I have to have this surgery, and then we start going over everything that has happened since I first had these symptoms, and she realizes that I'm not able to be at school. She's like, you know what, no, like, a lot of people that are dealing with this are on these programs at school, and I'm gonna get you a letter. So she gets me a letter for my high school stating that I cannot attend classes and that I needed accommodations at home. So that's called the 504 program here in Texas. So I am, at this time, I'm not in school anymore. I am at home full time, but I'm being sent a person to my house that would bring me my homework and bring me my exams, and occasionally work with me if I needed help with anything. Like, she was kind of like my at-home teacher, and she would come once a week, and like, that's how I finished my junior year doing that, which was really like difficult because lots of you may know, like, your junior year is one of the most important years of your high school like time, because so much of those grades and so much of those exams, like, those count towards how you look on colleges. And unfortunately, I had been doing amazing prior to me being sick. So during that year, I was doing enough to pass. Does that make sense? Like, I was doing enough to get me by, but it was not what I should have been at. And if I would have continued at that, but I can't think like that. Anyways, so during this time, I'm going back and forth to Phoenix because we still have to go and do different tests and different imaging before my surgery, because they just have to validate everything and all of this different stuff and just making sure that there's nothing else wrong. So she's able to get me my surgery in December. So December 31st of 2016 is when I had my surgery. They went in and did my spine. So the surgery, this is your spine, and the surgery was done at the base end of my spine. So hold on. So, like, can you see me? So my scar is right here. So since it was it's a really small incision. It's like that big, but like it was a really like not invasive, but well, no, not invasive. Like it, whatever. It's spine surgery. So they detether the cord, whatever. I stayed in Phoenix for a couple of weeks because I couldn't really walk. I mean, of course, it's spine surgery. It's gonna affect like a lot of different things, and it was a long healing process because of how difficult it was to like, I mean, I guess for my ligaments to like adjust to that. I don't know, but yeah. So that was that portion of it. I'm gonna split this video up into two. Yeah, and hopefully I can just get the next part into one, because I don't want this to be like a 2-hour long video. I don't know how long it is right now. I have to fix it. But yeah, so that was the first half of when I first got diagnosed, and I feel like I needed the whole video to explain that because it was a roller coaster. And again, I went through it as fast as I possibly could, but there's so much more that I left out, and how much like explaining what I did kind of just puts into perspective the situation. I mean, of course, not explaining everything, because again, it would be too long, but that it kind of splits it up into portions. So this next video is going to be from everything that happened from after that surgery to now. And because there was a time there that I was able to, it was a lot less to tell in between because it was more of a fast track. I don't know, you'll understand in the next video. But yeah, so that was the first part. And at this point in the video, I mean at this point in my life, more like, I was feeling so hopeful and so like acknowledged, because for once in my life, well, yeah, I mean, in that time period of feeling so lost and feeling so scared, I had some type of answers as to what was going on, and I had one step forward instead of 5 steps back, because I mean, I had that surgery and there was still hope for me to be better. And yeah, it was really, really, really like important and like life-changing moment for me. But yeah, so next video I'll explain the whole process that happened afterwards. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Guys, I'm so proud of myself. I actually did my face today. I actually look human. For once in like 2 weeks. Just realized I forgot to put mascara on the bottom of my lashes. And I've really been talking this whole time. Without mascara on the bottom of my lashes. Who let me? Can you tell I haven't done my makeup in like forever? Didn't make a difference. Oh, okay, whatever, bye. Oh. Okay, anyways.